welcome to the Hindustan Times Shine HR Conclave Mumbai. Today we are joined by Anuranjita Kumar, Country Human Resources Officer, Citi India. Hi Anu, thank you for joining us. So today the topic is all about diversity as business strategy. So I would like to ask you, does your organization take steps to ensure that diversity awareness percolates down to the level of employee? And in what way?
Look, diversity is absolutely core to any talent agenda today for every organization, not just for Citi. And I think Citi, with a history of 200 years and 100 years in India, we're a global organization. We exist over 104 countries, 200 nationalities, multiple languages. So diversity has existed for years for us. Do we want to make them aware? I think because it's existed, it's just core part of the DNA. What happens over a period of time with changing landscapes in the market, the policies and the practices keep changing, the thought processes keep changing, and some of the unconscious biases keep changing. And as for us as HR leaders, our job is to make sure that we keep up with the times to ensure the diverse agenda remains current, productive, innovative for a business.
So, according to you, your approach to enhancing your own functions, that is HR role, in understanding of different aspects of diversity, what would that be?
Look, as I said, diversity is a very, very broad topic. And for the function to understand diversity, again, it's at the core. And for us, I think it starts with the way we acquire talent. So at the hiring stage, we are very conscious about the kind of talent profiles that we hire for a specific business problem or for a proposition. The way we develop talent, people from different geographies, different gender, different ethnicity, different nationalities, talking different languages, require different kind of talent development intervention. So it gets weaved into that. And lastly, and very importantly, it's a core part of how we retain talent. Right. Just to give you an example, when we talk about gender diversity, and I was talking in the panel discussion as well today, that, especially when, women start off with a family life, the way of doing flexible work arrangements go a long way in our retention rates. Right. So to me, it comes through every HR practice that we do. And, we just aspire to do it better every day.
Right. So, how does your identity, as being into the HR resources, impact your work with the diversified workforce?
Identity of the bank, I would assume. Is that what you're referring to?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I think Citi identity, as I alluded to, has been tied up in the history. But for us, let me take an example and explain this better. So let's look at the recent financial crisis which happened in the sector. And I think a lot of lessons were learned, but one of the more important lessons which was learned was around diversity. I think what held us good for us as an institution were some of the solutions which were brought about to the problems that were created were not by the people who created the problem, right, but by that was done by a diverse set of individuals who thought differently. And these were not necessarily people who may be sitting in developed economies. This could be people sitting in emerging economies. They have a different style of thinking, they have a different solution making approach, and which builds the identity and makes it even stronger over time for Citi.
So, in your opinion, or during the course of your journey, have you had to handle situations where a colleague was not accepting of another's diversity? And if so, how do you handle it?
Look, I think, it's not a unique situation. And as I said, as an HR professional, every HR professional manages these situations. To me, there is an unconscious bias which can operate in any organization and even in Citi. People are born in a certain way, they're socialized in a certain way, they're grown up. So there is a larger question about the socio-cultural factors, in the way people behave at workplace. So conflicts do arise, and our job is to make people aware that they're working with unconscious bias or a stereotype. More than often, the moment you do a snap decision that, your behavior towards this individual is driven by a certain preconceived notion that you might hold, you'll be surprised how quickly the behavior will change.
My last question to you. In what specific ways has diversity shaped your leadership, mentoring, or management style?
I think, as I said, diversity for us, and again, I would go back to Citi and Citi India. When I came on board, which was about 3 years back, there was probably no women in the management committee. So I was probably the first one, and today we have 4 of us of the 15. So it gives you a sense of progression we've been able to make. Now bear in mind, each one of us is here because we feel we were worth it or we deserved it. And I think, I'm probably more focusing on gender diversity, but the kind of suggestions we would make to a business problem are actually quite different. The way we would work at our workplace is quite different. There are 2 of us who actually do practice flexi work time. I work out of Delhi, Bombay. I travel every week, but that's what I choose to do. So to me, it's brought about a very refreshed way of working, a refreshed way of thinking, and I think it also gives an inspiration to a lot of other women who are aspiring to do the same.
Great. Thank you for joining us.